Welcome to Season 3 of Unspoken Truth. This will be a journey of breaking generational curses, spiritual ties, while we live in our purpose, and to become one with our higher selves through breaking chains of poverty consciousness and understanding the power of attraction, and always aiming to be better versions of ourselves and vibrating in our frequencies. Join me on this journey of discovering unspoken truths and changing the narrative. This is from a woman who's just like you, a mother, a sister, a daughter, and God's child. And in everything else in between, I am still an individual riding the waves of life. I am Nita Terry T, your host of Unspoken Truth. Episode 7, Part 1, Navigating Love, Expectations versus Reality. Welcome, my lovely listeners, to yet another episode of Unspoken Truth, where we have heartfelt conversations. And today, we dive into a topic that resonates with many of us, expectations versus reality in relationships. I'm your host, Nita Terry T, so let's dive in. Let's start with internal expectations. How do these play a role in shaping our views of love? Internal expectations often stem from our upbringing, past experiences, and societal influences. Sometimes we create an idealized version of love in our minds, setting the stage of what we think a relationship should be. And lately, we have social media to define what love looks like. It's perfectly captured images and nicely curated quotations. These breed unrealistic expectations that might not be communicated well. Instead, it creates an environment of comparison. We are what we read, and we become what we watch. It is imperative that we are aware what we feed our souls. Love isn't as easy as what social media perceives it to be. That type of love is love that has conditions and rules, whereas unconditional love is raw and unscripted. We are now governed by a bouquet of flowers that have dollar notes in them. We feel loved when showered with materialistic items. If not taken the perfect images with cute outfits on dates and vacations, then clearly love doesn't exist, right? We have lost the sense of the bare minimum, which is actions, respect, and compassion. We want to tick the boxes and express love online, and maybe even forget to say the things we say online to the person sitting right next to us. We mirror love online. Upbringing and past experiences can be a virus to love. We seek love we might have no idea of. We look at broken family systems or a healthy family, leaving us to try to fit into what we grew up seeing, or us internally fighting what we do not want from love, forgetting to be in the moment. Constantly with the quest to find this love. We are our own alchemist on the journey of finding this unrealistic love that meets unspoken expectations. A lot of us might have not have had an idea of what love looks like or feels like because of our traumas. Most have never felt the love of their parents during their upbringing, and it all ends up in having no self-love. How does one love others when they don't love themselves? How do you give something you have no idea of? Hear me out. Hear me out. Even if you do not have the ideal look or feel of what love is, this doesn't mean that you cannot define it for yourself by putting in the work of what you would love to be. And lastly, knowing how to love yourself. This will then easily manifest into loving others. There is no perfect picture or amount of posts you can upload that will really interpret love. No dictionary or Google search will get you the ideal answer. It all starts with you. Like Michelle Obama would say, it's all hard work. You should be willing to fight and be patient. And what about the challenge of voicing these expectations that we've created in our heads, in our hearts, that govern us every day? It can be tricky. Many women find it difficult to express their desires and needs, fearing judgment or rejection. Open communication is vital, allowing partners to understand each other's expectations and work towards mutual understanding. Voicing out expectations can be hard at times. It's not the fear of rejection, instead a room for disappointment. Women have the ideal picture of how we would love to be loved, whether if it's getting flowers weekly, weekend aways or massages, or public display of affection. We have an idea of what we want, how we want to be held, how we want to be spoken to, how we would like to feel when this love is given. But we then bury these expectations with the fear of being disappointed and failure thereafter of consistency. We are now reduced to social media posts, cute captions, the love must be public to feel like love. It's always so hard to voice out expectations. At times it's just showing up and truly taking the time to understand your love languages. This goes both ways because everyone in a relationship has expectations. While women tend to easily voice them out and men tend to think they must give and not really receive, it is imperative to have discussions on expectations so that they can be met. Even if others do not feel realistic, they need to be addressed too. Because what doesn't feel realistic to one person might feel like the world to the next person. Now, let's shift to reality. What are some of these common realizations that women may face when their expectations meet complexities of real-life relationships? Well, often the reality is that our partners are unique individuals with their own set of values and priorities. What we seek may not always align with what is feasible in their lives. It's crucial to find a balance and adapt as the relationship evolves. And how can women navigate this delicate balance between expectations and reality? Well, it's flexibility. Flexibility is key, recognizing that relationships require compromise and understanding that perfection isn't realistic. So those cute, curated outfits, dates, posts, quotations might look perfect, but are not realistic. So it's important to communicate openly about expectations, allowing room for growth and change within the relationship. Well, in summary, embrace the journey of love with realistic expectations. Communicate openly and be adaptable to the ever-changing dynamics of relationships. Before we leave, I'd love to leave you with this verse. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not tend to its own way. It is not irritable and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices when the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It's always faithful, endures through every circumstance. And to our listeners, remember, love is a beautiful journey with its ups and downs. Join us next time for part 2 of more of these heartfelt conversations on unspoken truth. We will be having a guest to have an open discussion on this topic, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Until then, take care of your hearts. Love and light to all of you, my Unspoken Truth family. I thank you.
The Unspoken Truth is the catalyst for important and thought-provoking conversations that need to be had. The network tackles social ills, spiritual healing, soul-searching, and mental health awareness. To subscribe, click on the show link to follow our podcast and be part of the Unspoken Truth family. Find us on all social media platforms.